Welcome to What the Tech. We're the show that cuts right through all the hype to bring you tech news that you can actually use. You're going to get clear, no-nonsense explanations that get straight to the point. So today we are tackling a really big one. Let me ask you this. Are you planning on buying a new phone, a new laptop, maybe a game console sometime soon? Well, you might want to brace yourself, because all of those gadgets, they're about to get a whole lot more expensive. And the reason why is a tiny little component you've probably never even thought twice about.
The industry has a name for what's happening. They're calling it RAMageddon. And trust me, that is not an exaggeration. This quote right here, it really captures just how serious this is. We're talking about a massive global shortage of computer memory that is going to hit every single one of us right in the wallet.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why is this happening, right now? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a perfect storm. It's what happens when two incredibly powerful forces collide. Absolutely insane demand and a supply chain that is stretched to its breaking point. So first, let's do a quick refresher. What even is RAM? You can think of it as your device's short-term memory. It's like its digital workspace. It's where all your open apps and active tasks are living. The more RAM you have, the more stuff you can do at once without your phone or computer slowing down to a crawl. It is absolutely essential. So what's causing this perfect storm? Well, on one side, you've got this AI gold rush. All these new AI models, they need to hold just unbelievable amounts of data in their short-term memory to work. And that memory, it's RAM, so companies are buying it up by the truckload. On the other side, the supply is incredibly tight. See, just a handful of companies make all the world's RAM, and you can't just build new factories overnight. It takes years. And just look at how concentrated that supply really is. You've got Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. That's it. Those three companies right there control about 95% of the entire global market. They're basically the gatekeepers. So when they can't keep up with demand, or, when they decide to prioritize those big, high-paying AI clients, everybody else feels the pain.
So, how does this kind of abstract market problem actually affect you? Let's break down the real-world consequences. This is where the price for all this amazing AI progress lands right in your lap. It's almost like an unofficial AI tax on every single new device you buy.
Let's start with the device that's probably in your pocket right now. Your next smartphone is going to cost more. But here's the real kicker. You might actually end up paying more for less. We're expecting new flagship phones to ship with the exact same amount of RAM as last year's models. So yeah, no performance upgrade, just a bigger price tag.
And here's where we put a real number on it. Analysts are predicting an average price increase of up to 8% on smartphones. Now, that might not sound like a ton, but on a $1,000 phone, that's an extra $80. And for budget phones, where memory is an even bigger slice of the cost pie, that price hike is going to feel even larger.
Now, if we move on to laptops, the situation, it's even worse. The major brands are talking about price hikes of 10 to 30%. The cost per gigabyte of RAM has just skyrocketed, and some insiders are worried the entire PC market could shrink because of it.
And for all the gamers out there, look, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. That Nintendo Switch 2 you're waiting for, expected to cost more when it launches. And the next PlayStation, some reports are suggesting it could be delayed by years, possibly pushed all the way out to 2028, maybe even 2029, all because of this shortage.
Okay, I know, that was a lot of tough news, but our goal here at WtT is to give you news you can actually use. So if you appreciate these no-hype breakdowns, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. And then let us know in the comments, how is this news going to change your next tech purchase? All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about solutions. This isn't all just doom and gloom. You do have options. So let's get into your smart buying guide. This is how you navigate RAMageddon without getting burned. So, if you absolutely have to buy a new device in the near future, here's your 3-step plan. First, be honest with yourself and buy the configuration you actually need. Don't overbuy. Second, if you plan on keeping this device for a few years, pay for more RAM and storage up front. And third, do not wait for a sale. Don't assume you can just upgrade it cheaply down the line, because for now, those days are over. Now for my PC builders and gamers out there, the advice gets even more specific. If you're building a PC and you see a good deal on RAM, buy it now. Don't wait, hoping for a price drop. For you console players, just be mentally prepared for higher prices. And here's a smart tip for everyone. Seriously consider looking at high-quality, refurbished, or last-gen hardware. There is some incredible value out there.
So, the biggest question really just boils down to this. Should you buy now or should you wait? And it's actually pretty simple. If you absolutely need a new device in the next 2 years or so, you're probably going to have to bite the bullet and just buy in this expensive market. But if you can hold out until 2028, that's when the experts think prices are finally going to start coming back down to earth.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe most critical question that's on everyone's mind. When does this all end? Is there actually a light at the end of this tunnel?
Well, the answer comes straight from the top. The CEO of Intel put it very bluntly. There's no relief until 2028. Wow, that is a clear, pretty sobering timeline from someone who knows the industry inside and out. It tells you right away this isn't some short-term blip. This is our reality for the next few years.
And here's what that road to relief is going to look like. All through 2026 and into 2027, the supply is going to stay tight, and prices are going to keep climbing. Yeah, new factories are being built, but they take forever to get up and running. So real, meaningful relief, that's not expected until 2028. That's when all that new manufacturing capacity should finally start producing chips at scale.
So, we'll end with this thought. This AI gold rush, it's changing the economics of, well, everything. And it leaves us with a huge question. Is this just a temporary shortage? Or has the demand from AI permanently changed the tech landscape for good? You know, is a high AI tax on all of our gadgets just the new normal? Tell me what you think in the comments.